Welcome to the Automatic Mouth Podcast. I'm your host, Ali Burnett, professional coach and full-time psychology, linguistics, and NLP junkie. Whatever brought you, I'm thrilled you've decided to spend some quality time with us. Don't forget to like and subscribe, folks. It helps our podcast more than you know. Let's jump in.
Right? So, yes, as I was saying, my opinion is
Yes.
actually around the fact that truth, as the quote says, truth for most people is a secondary consideration. I think we tend to apply truth, the word truth, to our opinion.
Yeah.
And therefore, it can make it more difficult when someone has a different opinion, is we almost treat it like a lie, don't we? Like,
Yeah.
and get offended by it or feel like they're trying to trick us or something like that.
Mm.
Whereas if we can take it back to understanding that everyone has their own truth, has their own, just like they have their own opinions.
Absolutely. And why do people have their own truth, Ali Burnett? Why is that?
Because it's built on our belief system,
Yeah.
what we've grown up with, what we have experienced, all those sorts of things. And initially, they are part of our survival mechanism, aren't they?
Of course.
Yeah, the truths
It's a
that we have.
decision-making process, right?
Yeah,
Mm.
we develop these truths and these opinions initially to keep us safe. Like I said, as a survival mechanism, depending on how you've grown up, you define them, don't you, yourself, based on what's happening around you, your environment, your own safety. So you decide
What
this
you've been
is
taught by your nearest and dearest, their opinions. You know, I had to check myself for a few years, but be like, is this mine? Is this my opinion, or is it just something I've had my dad spray, out of his mouth for a little bit? And I found that the majority of things were not mine.
Do you know, it's such a cool question to ask people, and I love asking it because I'm a bit of a, trigger happy type of person.
I
Don't
know,
mind
it's one of my
triggering
favourite
here
things
and there.
about you.
Thank you. Is that when someone gives me their opinion, is actually asking them, I'm curious, just interested, is that your opinion or have you borrowed it from someone?
That is a showstopper. That is a showstopper. Don't do that in the middle of Aldi. Jeez. It'd be a scrum. You
and I will
what?
rise to the top. But if you allow that question to sink in, and I've done it myself plenty of times because, sometimes I get to a hill and I think I'm going to die on it too. I think, well, you know what? I'm planting my flag. I'm planting my fucking feet. And this is my opinion. And when you actually allow yourself to dig a bit deeper and think, well, actually, what am I basing that opinion on?
Yeah.
Where am I gathering my proof from? And what would happen if I questioned it? And that's when you start to realize that if you question it and you don't die, like, wow, well, I've learned something here. There can actually be more than one way to look at something.
Absolutely. But it's, there's some good opinions out there somewhere.
Yeah.
Sometimes. What's the well-informed opinions, because they're backed by good knowledge, experience. Somebody's already done X, Y, Z, so somebody's already experienced something. You're going to listen to their opinion, aren't you, about something? It's based on evidence. Whereas others are just based on get that gut feeling. It's like I don't know, but I feel good about it. Yeah, I think we should. It's like
I think this is a goer.
I think this is a goer. Absolutely, but it's it doesn't prove the same for everyone, does it?
Yeah, and it's remembering,
really
isn't it, that every opinion, even those, and as you said, they're even good opinions, bad opinions, whatever, they're all of them are based on an individual's understanding of the content,
Yes.
So it's okay to listen to other people's opinion. And if you want, I'm just going to put it out there. If you listen to other people's opinions with an idea of understanding how that person thinks, it's such
Yes.
amazing insight, rather than listening to an opinion with the purpose of readying yourself to,
Yeah.
defend,
It's like, tell
deflect.
me what yours is so I can argue. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
instead of
Mm.
readying your mind for an argument, or to, like every conversation is a debate, you can choose to listen to a conversation and someone's opinion on something and realize, wow, that gives me insight into how that person thinks and perhaps how
Yeah,
they see the world, how they've
absolutely.
grown up,
And
all
we
those
must clarify,
amazing things.
not like how to take them down. That's not what we mean. By
No, see,
listening
that's
to it.
going
Yeah.
back to
Mm.
the debating kind of purpose,
Yes.
isn't it?
Well, yeah, absolutely. Do you know what? There's a we're missing the J word. When people put opinions out. Can you remember?
Juicy. That's one of my favourite
I
J
think we
words.
did it. Was it budgie jitch?
Budgie jitch.
Judgment.
Yes, we
Yeah,
did.
judgment.
Judgment.
People
Yeah.
judge opinions like, really? It's like, well, don't knock it. Because again, like you said, it's just perspective.
Yeah. Well, how often as well do you, and I know I've been guilty of this in the past, and I've heard people
What?
do it, I know, look, I'm bearing my sins right
It's
here,
silly.
so don't be judgmental, okay? Is before you go to say something, you'll say, look, don't judge me, but. And
But
so
judge me.
sometimes when we go to share something or an opinion, a thought, a feeling, whatever, we go to share it, we're actually letting people know that we're judging ourselves on it. There's something about that we're self-judging, for fuck's sake.
Yeah,
You
because
know?
if you were rock solid behind it, you wouldn't be that. You'd be like, well, showstopper, this is the case, and blah 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 blah. Not, don't judge me. It's weak, isn't it?
Well, I
Sorry.
even think
Do you know what? That's the wrong thing to say. That's judgment itself. It's you could use stronger language
you
around it.
budgie jitch.
You budgie jitch.
Well, taking what you said further, when you said if you were rock solid on it, you would confidently say, here's what I think.
Yeah.
I actually wonder if you were feeling rock solid and shared what you think, that would also perhaps put you in a place where you are open as well to listen to what other people think. Perhaps that idea, that judgment is a door that swings both ways. If you are self-judging about, your place in the sand, then you're almost readying yourself to be judged by others. And so you're not listening to anything that they might say, their perspective, their opinion, are you? Because...
Very true. Not keeping yourself clear.
Yeah. Whereas I think if you feel confident, if you're like, well, I've done some research, this is what I've found out through my lens, my perspective, this is what I think.
Yeah.
Then when someone says, well, I actually read this, what about this? I think maybe you come from a different place mentally.
Mars.
Yes, of course.
Kidding.
Come from a different place where you can approach it from a learning perspective and think, oh, I haven't thought of it that way. That's it, add those bits, take what you want and add it to your growing opinion or your growing truth.
Absolutely.
Or even have
it's okay to have a different opinion. Yeah.
Yes.
It's okay to do that. It's okay to have it. I guess, it's what makes life interesting, I guess, isn't it? Like you're saying, respecting other viewpoints. It's not just, you've got to understand and respect them. It's not just about being polite, is it? Like you say, it's how we learn and grow ourselves.
Yeah.
I mean, who wants to live in a world where everyone agrees all the time? Boring.
And isn't it? It's strange how we've moved, or we've been in this place, haven't we? Where you meet some people and they'd almost prefer you to, as I've said previously today, die on a hill of something than change your mind. Because for some people, changing your mind is looked upon as weak, isn't it? You know, you got to pick a side and you got to stick to it. You got to be loyal and you got to.
Yeah. I can't be wrong. Yeah.
Yes. So even if there's information that counteracts what you're thinking, there are people in the world who would prefer that you still just stick to your guns because it's judged. You know, you're judged as flim-flam or wishy-washy or, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
If you swap your ways of thinking. And so I see that as quite rigid. It's okay to have a school of thought or an opinion on something. However, you're not going to grow if you decide, well, that's the be all and end all. I've learned everything about this. This is my whole opinion on it and it's correct. And that's the end of the story. It's stagnant then, isn't it? Without recognizing that everything has an evolution. Everything evolves.
It does, yeah, and it's about balance, you know. You know, you got like an informed. You know, is there an informed person with, you know, somebody with an informed opinion, and somebody else with an uninformed opinion? But that doesn't necessarily mean they're totally right or totally wrong. You know, you get labelled that way. But you know, how can I? My point was that you know, you make sure you are informed and in the right spot before you start giving the big, you know, opinion. If you see what I mean, like make sure you've handled your stuff and made sure you're as right as possible. And like I said, it's okay to have a wrong opinion or have your own opinion. Just don't shill over everybody else.
Yeah, be open.
Process. Yeah,
be open to evolving your own opinion.
Yes.
That it will grow if you allow it. It will grow and, you know, manifest into all sorts of other areas that can be really fruitful for you and
if
for
anyone
others.
would like to attend my training on how to be very opinionated, we're launching that soon.
We're going to launch a new program called Opinions Are Like Arseholes.
Yes.
Just a little story that kind of fits in here. Not my own. I was watching a TV program, and I feel like it's just follows on from what you were talking about with, you know, learned opinions or the opposite and how they get labelled, and it's understanding to get the balance and allow those opinions to take what you want, leave what you don't, that kind of thing. Yeah. As I was watching this TV show, and one of the characters was looking for some advice on a moral problem he was having. And he was quite a religious person. So he went to a church. He just walked in the front door, you know, like, hello, how did we do this? Yeah. And the first person that came up to him said, oh, yeah, can I help you? Are you looking for the toilet or something? A lot of people come into the churches just off the street because they're looking for the toilet. I don't know. And he said, oh, no, I'm actually just looking for someone to talk to. Or want to make an appointment, you know, I've got a bit of a dilemma and I'd like some counsel. And he goes, oh, yeah, okay, well, I can see what, you know, we can do for that. And so the guy just went on to the character went on to tell him his little problem. And the person in the church said, oh, this is what I think about that, and gave him some thoughts on it. And so as the character walked away, you know, he said, thank you so much. I'm actually not going to need that appointment. You've really helped me. I appreciate your time. Thanks, Pastor. And walked out of the church. And the person in the church sort of went, don't worry about it. And then went back and got his mop and his bucket and continued cleaning the church because he was actually just the cleaner. He wasn't a pastor. He just cleaned the church regularly. A really good indicator a metaphor, I suppose, to show that you'll always take what you need from an interaction.
Yes.
It's up to you to process it and to work out, does it add, you know, does it expand your opinion? Does it give you more to think about? Or is it actually just about suiting your narrative? What you're looking for is really just people to, you know, yes men.
Yes.
to just stroke your ego and say, no, you're 100% right. You
Yeah.
stick to your guns, Ali.
Yeah.
If that's what you're looking for, then as you said, that's a time for you to check in with yourself, isn't it?
Yeah. I love it when I get corrected. Is that or another perspective offered to me. And
I like
it's one of my
challenge.
favorite things about our little friendship.
It's
I'm
quite
like,
challenging, yes.
what? Excuse me? Well, that's just your opinion. Mm-hmm.
That is my opinion.
No, I just, like you say, it's important. We can always learn something from everybody. It doesn't matter who they are.
Yeah.
And I think you're right. It's, being as open as possible. Well, you're always growing then, aren't you?
Yeah. Growing requires the challenge. And so you can either grab the challenge by the balls and yep, let's do this.
Please. Yes, please.
I thought you'd appreciate that. Was for you, Adam. That was just for you.
Thanks.
You can either do that and really take some learning from it, or you can, as I said, dig your heels in and not learn anything and not grow, essentially. I know which one I prefer. So,
well, it takes a lot to be the person that goes, yes, what is your opinion, please, pray tell. It does, doesn't it? You have to be very, very comfortable with yourself. Sometimes people are just looking to answer questions actually themselves by giving an opinion.
Yeah.
It's so it's a lot of strength that goes with it. So if anyone's listening out there thinking, oh God, it's it shows your strength internally, to your sense of self, a strong sense of self to be able to do it.
Yeah, I love that. What a great way to tie this up in a beautiful opinionated bow. Love
yes.
Well, thank you.
Put that in your pipe and smoke it, as my mum used to say to my dad.
I will indeed. Thank you, Mr. True Love. Self-love junkie. Loving that.
I know. What do you think? I love it.
Yeah, I do. I like it. I think it's cute.
You're cute.
Thanks so much.
All right. Well,
see you next time.
It's so lovely to be here this week. Thanks so much, and see you next time.
Much love.
Bye.
Bye for now.
I really hope you enjoyed it. We had a ball making it.